a short film that I originally came up with a concept over a decade ago. And it was an idea that I pitched to my very talented friend Andy Poon as soon as I came up with the idea. And he right away sketched out Noodle Boy, and then it went into a drawer. And so he kept over the years saying, Robin, like, let's try and bring Noodle Boy to life. Let's try and bring Noodle Boy to life. And coming from live action, I knew nothing about animation. So my fear of the unknown held me back. But eventually I was like, okay, fine, let's see if we can do it. And thanks to Andy, we were able to bring Noodle Boy and Misfortune to life. What I do for storyboards, even to give to the storyboard artist, is just take photos of toys so that I'm able to set up my shot and figure out what I'm going to do, and then that helps me articulate to the storyboard artist what I'm going to do. We definitely wanted to make sure that each poster that he jumped into was its own world within the short in order to achieve the different look that we wanted for each of the posters. We worked with a number of different graphic designers to make sure that there was a different aesthetic for each of the posters, because if we just had one artist making all of them, I think they would feel too similar. The fact that there is no dialogue in the film was a choice, and that made it incredibly imperative that both the sound design and score evoked the right emotion and created that emotional connection with viewers without saying any words. So both Andy and I worked very, very closely with the sound designer and composer, Andrew Harris, to make sure that we were striking the right chord. From start to finish, this film took, over 6 months to bring to life, whereas we shot a whole feature in 18 days. So the animation is a slower process, but it's a lot of fun. The whole concept of the spot was about these kids making their own newspaper and spreading the word that Cheerios are delicious and nutritious. I think that there's a real sense of, childlike creativity and that wonder and awe that you have had as a kid. And then when you accomplish something, how proud you are to share it. Working with kids as opposed to adults is always something that I look forward to. I mean, I look forward to working with both children and adults, but they're just a lot of fun. I think the fact that, I'm really just a grown-up kid, or a kid in a grown-up costume, makes it easy for me to work with kids. Because it was a global campaign, there were a lot of boxes that we had to check. But at the same time, with John, the creative director, I asked him, I said, would you mind if we just kind of improvised here? And so actually all of the stuff of the kids saying, welcome to our clubhouse, is where we're doing, that's all improvised. Looking back at the spot, I'm really proud of how we were able to get across the message in a way that does feel authentically childlike, and to be able to capture that childlike enthusiasm in a way that doesn't feel too glossy or staged. This project came to me from some producers I know. It is based on a novel by a Canadian author. The film, when I read the script, I could see it, and I thought it was something worth giving a try for my first feature. I think for anyone who's looking to do their first feature, it's always a nerve-wracking experience, because you're wondering, is this the right project? Am I going to be able to execute it in the way that I want to? Am I going to be able to get the cast that I want to? There's so many variables. So for me, it was definitely a nerve-wracking experience, just wondering what the final result would be. But at the same time, an exciting experience, because I knew I was going to learn so much throughout the process. For this, it was very important that the cast that we worked with in the film were the right, feel, and that they also had a vibe together. The film itself, when I originally read the script, kind of what I saw was elephant and kids. Those were some of my favorite films growing up, and I was really inspired by that. So I was trying to make something that was a little more gritty and scrappy. I was looking for people who felt authentic and didn't feel too glossy and were going to be able to be vulnerable and put a piece of themselves out there. One of the most challenging things about making this film was definitely, how do we make this with the budget that we have? When you don't have a lot of money and there's parameters placed upon you, you do have to be creative and think like, okay, well, what can we do and how can we react to these things and maintain kind of a cohesive look and feel to the film. So I learned a lot on that film. But what I'm most proud of with that film when I look at it is the way that the actors were able to portray their characters and be vulnerable and put themselves out there. I'm also proud of just what we were able to do with so little. I think Todd did an incredible job with the cinematography. I think it looks beautiful. I just wish anybody who's making their feature or has an idea to make their short the best of luck and say that they should go for it.